tell y'all, oh, you want to know how to donate to keep Trauma to Triumph going. You want to help me get some filming done. You want to help me get my branding and marketing out there so that we can really, really take this project to the next level. Okay? And the way you can donate is through Cash App. The Cash App is the $ trauma, the number 2, triumph. And then I have PayPal. You can do PayPal, and that's the @ trauma, the number 2, triumph. And then you can also go on my website, www.trauma, the number 2, triumph, doc.com, and you can donate directly right on the website. Hey, Yalmikia, I'm going to pull you in about 2 minutes, maybe less than 2 minutes. So please, I'm going to type that in the comments, you all. So while I'm typing that, let me just say thank you for tuning in to another episode of Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. Tonight we are featuring an amazing woman, and we always have amazing people on this platform, I must say. Trauma to Triumph is the Cash App. And then the PayPal is, I told y'all what the PayPal is. Okay, so let's get started. I'm your girl, Terry Long. I am the host of Trauma to Triumph. This is a docu-series in the making. We're going to be developing content every week, every Tuesday. We're going to be talking to a woman or a man. It could be a man. You never know. We started including men in this docu-series in 2023. My husband has been a part of it, James Oxley. And so we've got some other men coming up, and I'm excited for you all to hear about some of the life trauma that some of our men have gone through. But tonight, it's an amazing woman. Her name is Yalmikia, and I cannot wait for you all to meet her. But again, Trauma to Triumph is a docu-series in the making where we are talking about real-life trauma. We are sharing our stories of life trauma and how we transition from trauma to triumph. And as you all know, the trauma is in different ways. People go through different types of life trauma, different points, time periods of their lives. Some people have gone through domestic violence. Some people have been born to drug addictive parents. Some people have been drug addicts themselves. Some people have gone through things that are so medically crazy that you wonder, how did they even survive? We've got so many amazing gut-wrenching stories as part of this project, and I'm just very grateful for everyone who has been participating. We've got a lot of stuff to do. I need some sponsors for this project. I need some sponsors to help get this project to another level. I need people who are willing to dive in and say, hey, I'll do the branding. Hey, I will, I will do some editing. We need people who know how to do stuff and get some stuff done. And we are going to really see us healing the lives of millions of people through the sharing of our stories. That's what we're going to do. We are going to do it. We are going to heal millions through the sharing of our stories. These stories are powerful ways for people to get it's just another way for people to get the mental health treatment that they need. Sometimes it's just merely sitting down on the couch talking with someone who has been through the same thing, or hearing a story from someone who has been through the same thing, and that can start the healing process. I know it worked for me, and that's why I started to do Trauma to Triumph, because I realized it worked for me. So how about I get other people to sit down with me and share their stories of life trauma? And so let's get started for tonight. Hello. Yes, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I helped you. Yes, we are helping each other. We are in this together, y'all. And we're going to have this project in front of millions of household TVs, streaming platforms. Watch what I tell you. That's where we're taking this. Hey, Be Divine. Hi, I miss you. Okay, let's bring in our guest for tonight. We'll find out in about a few seconds. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Yay! There she is.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
I'm well. No complaints.
Yes, you look well. You look amazing. I'm going to
Thank
turn my
you.
volume up so I can hear you. My volume was down really low. Okay, there we go. How you been?
I've been happy.
Yes.
I'm blessed, and I don't have no complaints,
That,
none at all.
that's what I love to hear. You are blessed and highly favored, honey. Every time
Mm-hmm.
I turn my volume up, it goes back down. What the heck? Okay, let's see. Okay, so what I like to do is I always like, I did a brief introduction, right? People know
Mm-hmm.
what this project is all about, but I'd like for you now to take an opportunity to just introduce yourself in your own way and just talk briefly about where you are in life today and how amazing of a woman you are. And then I will allow you to take us down memory lane and go as far back as you want to go and talk about when life trauma first entered your life, and let's take us through that journey of how traumatic it was for you and transitioning to the amazing woman that we see sitting in front of us today.
So I am Yalmikia Edmonds. I am a licensed cosmetologist and a certified hair loss practitioner. I am a mom of two beautiful children. I have a 19-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. I love being a mom. I'm so happy and blessed to be an expression of God to my children. Um, what I've experienced in I'm gonna say it was about 6, 7 years ago. The divorce that I've experienced is why and how I got to where I'm at today. I want to start by saying what we go through, it happens to us and for us. It doesn't
Mm,
happen to you, but it's for us as well. And what I have been through on my journey, it has definitely made me a stronger woman. It has definitely I had this happen to an uncharted territory. It didn't feel good, but where it got me now, it had to happen. What that was a divorce. My ex-husband, of course, which who my two kids is by. He had a beautiful daughter outside of our marriage.
prior to your marriage?
We were married.
So you all were married.
We were married.
Okay. And he had a daughter outside of your marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that definitely broke my heart. It hurt it really, really bad. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to take his life. The thoughts came of wanting to beat him in his head. The thoughts
Wow.
came wanting to take my own life. And
Did
this
you
is the
blame
only.
yourself?
At first, I did because I really didn't have self-awareness. I wasn't aware of who I was. My identity was in him. So I just lost my own self. And so I felt like it was my fault at one point for a few years.
Had you all had any children of your own yet?
Yeah, my children were already born.
When he had a daughter outside of the marriage, both of your children were born.
Absolutely.
And so, walk us through a little bit of how this works. Does he tell you that, hey, I got somebody pregnant, or do you find out? Like, how does a husband tell his wife, hey, by the way, somebody's pregnant and it's not you?
Well, the way how it came about is I felt it. Intuition just don't lie. Like he ain't had to tell me. Like I just felt it.
Really?
I felt it. I had a dream that gave me a little bit of confirmation. The dream that I had was a baby that was at my home, but it wasn't my baby. But it felt like it was like a real situation, but it was a dream that I was having.
Wow.
That was the first sign. Well, the second sign. The third was I prayed about it and I asked God to show me, the truth. Like I needed to see it, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
the third thing that happened was my daughter at the time, she was 8 or 9. She came to me and said to me, Daddy asked me how would I feel if I had a little sister. So that was all. That sealed the deal for me. And that was all I needed. And then I made the phone call and I asked him. And he never denied it. He just was like, I'm on my way so we can have this conversation.
Wow.
And when my daughter said that to me, it was almost like God prepared me for that, because prior to him even getting this woman pregnant, I was having like, what is it called? I was having these dreams for a long time. Wow. About a baby. And so I ended up asking him, prior to him even having another kid, did he have any kids that I didn't know about? Because I kept having dreams. And I was raised that, you know, when you have a dream, it's either a true or it's a lie. My grandmother taught me that. And the dream just kept happening. And I felt that was God preparing me for that moment. If that makes sense. Because when it showed up, it hurted, but it didn't hurt me as bad as it could have. Yeah, I wanted to commit suicide, and yeah, I wanted to harm him as well. But deep inside myself, I was praying, asking God to remove people, places, and things out my life that wasn't no longer serving me. And my ex-husband was the first person to go.
Now, okay, so he's like, he told you, he confirmed it once the baby was already here?
No, the woman was 6 months pregnant by then.
Okay. So was he having an affair, or was it one of those? I mean, I know it's like, you know, either way he got somebody pregnant, but to me, I'm thinking to myself, you know, because I'm a wife, so I'm thinking to myself, does it matter to me if he's having an affair, like this is like your girlfriend, or did you just kind of mess up one night?
Well, he cheated. We were together. He was having an affair. Me and this woman had encounters on the phone. She knew about me. She met my kids. But she chose to still, you know, entertain and deal with him. So we were a family. We were under the same roof. Right. We were living together with our children. And, you know, once I made the decision that I was going to leave him, you know, file for a divorce, it went straight from my kids leaving my home, going to this other woman's home for the weekend to be with their dad. So it was confusing for my children.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I can.
Because she was pregnant and it wasn't me. So my son, who was like a baby at the time, he was like 4 or 5. He was drawing pictures with all of us because he was confused.
Wow. I just can't, you know what, I can't wrap my mind around what you must have felt like in that moment. It's like, you know, I'm married with 2 children, and here I am having to deal with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was tough.
Now, did you try to work it out, or
Yeah.
did you know instantly, like, I can't?
No, I tried to make it work.
You did.
The first couple months when I found out about it, I tried to stick around and stay and offer counseling for me, him, and her. Because if I was to stay with him, I knew that I was going to have to be responsible for the baby as well. Like, if that's my husband, I can't not accept the child if I'm going to continue to stay with him. But everything I offered and tried was resisted on his end. So he didn't leave me no choice. Wow. So it's like he didn't want to do counseling. He didn't want me and her to be in the same room because he was playing both sides. And so what did it for me was when she was giving birth. Well, when she was in the hospital preparing to deliver her baby, my daughter had something going on the same day. She got accepted into Carver in Towson for singing, and she had to audition. And so he had to choose, and he chose to be there. And so that hurted my daughter as well. And that was like the end all for me. So it was several situations that transpired where I was like, I'm going to give it another try. I'm going to give it another try. I'm going to give it another try. But when he resisted me to even support him with her having this baby, it's like, it's nothing else I can do. Wow.
So do you feel like he was remorseful, or was he more like, you know, this what it is, this what happened?
This is what it is. Either you accept her, or, you know, we can't deal with each other. And I was willing to make it work, but it was like, I have to accept this, but I still get to do what I want to do.
You know.
Yeah, it
Wow.
wasn't no standards, no boundaries, nothing. You just want to do this and still want to do what you want to do. And it's like, no, you're not, that's not going to work.
You're married. Like, where does that come into the equation for him?
I don't think he was aware. I just don't think. I feel like when people, men or women who step outside their relationships, their marriages, and commit infidelity, you know, sleeping with other people and things like that. A lot of times people say, "Well, what did you do? What role did you play?" But all in all, at the end of the day, a person you chose to go do that, right? And so if I am telling you, well, I accept this baby, and this is what me, you, and her need to do so that we can prepare for this baby when it comes. Like, to me, that was very logical. Like, that was like, I think I did pretty good to accept it and be willing to make it work with my marriage. But it was no, 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 no.
Wow.
All of that hurted. On top of that, you already had the baby. She already pregnant with your child. So if I'm trying to offer these observations and you telling me no, can you imagine how hurtful that was?
I cannot.
Yeah, it was very hurtful. It damaged me for a bit
I can
because I was
imagine.
questioning myself.
Yes.
I will say this though.
Mm.
When I think back and reflect and I see where I'm at now, it all makes sense. It had to happen for me to get to where I am now. That situation had to happen. I believe that God witnessed things that we can't see. And when you are a good person and you just genuinely a good person, you don't expect anything from nobody. You just do good because that's just who you are. And you are a loving, caring person. God was protecting me from some things. So because I didn't see a lot that was probably happening behind my back, things would show up in our relationship, in our marriage, and it'll have me wondering, like, why are things always bad for him, but good stuff is always happening for me? And what I recognize, he
Ah.
ain't living right. He ain't living right. And so, because of that, I believe that, he wanted to have another baby. In fact, he wanted to have a little girl. And I told him that I could not have no more kids by him until he get himself together.
Mm-hmm.
Because I already had my 2 kids and I was pretty much the breadwinner. And
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't wise to have another kid. And I guess he wanted one so bad. He ended up having one just with someone
Yeah.
else. And he had the little girl as well. But a lot of stuff he was doing behind my back, God was punishing him in my face. But
Wow.
I didn't, a part of me was like, something ain't right. Because why everything he touched, it falls. Like, it just falls apart. And as time went on, it also made my relationship with God stronger because when things was getting real heated with us, it just pushed me closer to God. And and by that happening, it really put me in a more calm, peaceful space. And then it put me in a space of walking away in peace. It hurted,
Mm.
but I made a wise, conscious decision that this is going to hurt. I know it's going to hurt, but it's going to hurt even if I stay.
That's right. Choose your hurt.
Yeah.
Choose your hurt. The
Yeah.
one that, yeah. Yeah. And
So
so, wow. And so, did you get that question? Did you get the question of what part or what role do you think you played in your husband going to get another woman pregnant while you were married? Like, did you
by
feel
him or
like, did you feel like, was I not having sex with him enough? Or what do you feel like there was people thinking one of those reasons is why you contributed to that, or you take no responsibility in what he did at all
I don't
whatsoever?
take no responsibility. I will not. It's account. Yeah. I'm accountable for my actions and my behavior. is no way I will take responsibility for somebody choosing to step out and create create life with someone else.
Right.
I will not take responsibility for that. No. So when people ask questions like, well, what role did you play? To me, that's a little absurd to even ask. Because first of all, if I did anything on my end to make him feel that he had to go step out, a conversation, it's several steps that could have been, conversations could have been had, something could have been brought up, we could have talked about it before you just make those kind of decisions. In fact, you could just say, you know what, I think it's best that we go our separate ways, because I don't want to, how I'm feeling right now, I don't want to give you what you giving me. So if I'm not having sex with you enough, or if I'm not spending enough time with you, or if I'm not being that wife that you felt like you deserve to have, a conversation needs to be had. And I think a lot of times people are afraid to have hard conversations. And so they just go straight into action and doing things because they want to avoid the conversation. Because if a conversation is presented, then guess what? Then that means that cheating and all of that stuff may not ever happen, because now I get the opportunity to fix what I need to fix to keep my man, or to keep him from cheating, right? But if I'm not given that option at all, then no, it's not my problem. That's not my fault.
I love it. I love your response so much, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. So the conversation could have avoided you being cheated on, because like you said, you could have been like, okay, well, you know, I can work with you on that. I can work on those things. Or you could have been like, oh, no, I don't really want any more children unless XYZ happens. And if that's where you are and I can't give that to you, then we have to make a decision. Right. So you know, you all could have made a different decision for yourselves, and maybe that the cheating and the child outside of your marriage would not have happened on your watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And our kids definitely was affected by that as well. So
yeah. So they have a little sister.
Yes, they have a little sister, which is a whole nother, because they siblings. And so here we are still to this day. I tell my daughter all the time, because she's 19 now, that if she want to get her sister, she's more than welcome to come over, and, you know, so they can have that relationship. But because of, you know, I can't even answer, to be honest. I'm gonna say immature individuals. They don't want her in my space.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's, at the end of the day, it don't bother me.
Is that, what's the reason? Like, have you done anything? Like, have you tried to fight the girl, not the child, but the baby mother, you know, the woman or him, or do they, you know what I mean? What's the reason?
It's no reason. They don't even know. They don't have a reason. I never did anything to them. Never. I have too much to lose. Like, if I was going to do something, I would have did it when it
happened.
It's been almost 8 years now. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't have no problems with nobody who have wronged me. I get it, and I understand what we going through in this world. So I don't hold grudges. I forgive people, and I move on with my life, because that's what they want to do. And so when I tell my daughter or my son, like, they see how I live, they see how I am, and they will always be able to say, like, you know, my mother really, she moved with grace and integrity. So that's my main thing. My children being able to witness how I operate and how I move. So when they get older, they'll be able to say and articulate, like, my mother never spoke about you. She never tried to keep us away from you. She never, like, they can't ever say that I, you know, would try to fill their head with a bunch of negative stuff about them, about or her. Like, I never did that.
I commend you for that. I so commend you for that. I believe that that's the way women are women and men, parents. When things don't work out with us, no matter what I feel about you, no matter how disgusted I am at the sight of you, I'm not going to poison your children about you. Right. I will never, ever do that. And I will never, ever understand. I try not to be judgmental of other people, but I will never, I personally will never understand why a woman or a man would do that and talk bad about the child's parent in front of the child. Children are intuitive, children are smart, and when they start growing up, organically they're going to see what they need to see, hear what they need to hear, and form their own
Okay.
opinions. And
And
yes, and that's the way
I
it's supposed
think
to be.
I think that the truth don't need nobody. You don't need to say anything. The truth don't need none of that. Like, it's going
Nope.
to show. So that's one thing I've learned on this journey. Like, I just keep quiet and I move in peace. I don't even with my children. I even tell my daughter and my son, like, you still have to respect him because that's still your dad. I don't condone them speaking negative about him too. Because I understand how they feel, but at the end of the day, I do believe when people know better, they do better. I do know some people who are aware and they still choose to make wise decisions, but somewhere deep inside of them, they still not self-aware. Because I really believe any individual, if they knew who they were, they would hold themselves accountable and they would not, they would do better. When you know better, you do better.
Do better.
I think some people just really don't know.
They just don't know. People do what
don't
they
know.
know.
That's why it was easy for me to even forgive, because I know his backstory and I know where he came from. So he couldn't give me what he didn't have.
Yes, that's grown woman talk right there. Grown woman 101, what you just said. He can't, people cannot give you what they don't have. People cannot love you the way that they've never been shown to love. People cannot, and that's just real life. That's just what
Yeah.
it is. And when you understand that, sometimes it doesn't mean that it's okay, but it means that it allows us to move a certain way with people based on what we know about them.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm in this peaceful place right now. I've been in this peaceful place for a little over 5 years. I mean,
You've been divorced how long?
I've been divorced. Well, my divorce was final in 2017.
Okay.
So I filed in 2015. So it took some time for it to be final. But after I filed and went through that whole healing journey, that was so liberating for me because I discovered so much stuff about myself that I didn't even know, was that was within me. So much came out of that situation that didn't even have nothing to do with him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
yeah, it was a journey, but I'm blessed and I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I just love my life. I'm in a peaceful place. Like, I can't allow nothing on the outside of me to control or make me feel away.
Right.
Like, I know we human and we feel away sometimes, but the more I learn about life, I apply what I'm learning, and it really, really, really makes a huge difference in my life. Like, it's so peaceful. I mean, it be small stuff like if my son or my daughter do something, and I be like, listen, don't come over here until you get yourself together. When you get yourself together, then you can come talk to me, because I can't come there with you. I'm not going to come there with you. So you feeling away, or if it's some foolishness going on, come to me once you
Get that together.
Yeah, because
you're protecting your peace.
Yes.
Your energy.
Yes. And I worked hard to get here. So I ain't going to allow not even my children to to deter me. My daughter sent me something yesterday saying, y'all got grounded, I got kicked out. We not the same. So I did that because I had to kick my daughter out because she, that was a whole nother journey I had to go through too.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You seen her. She's a complete different person now. So
tough love. You had to exercise tough love.
Yeah. And we like this now.
Yeah. See?
So yeah.
Yeah. I'm so very proud of you. I know a lot of women who could not do what you did so gracefully. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I was married, and we were living together with our 2 children, living the American dream, and my husband goes and gets another woman pregnant. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have moments of wanting to take your own life. I'm sure you wanted to take his life. But
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sure.
Yes, I
But
did.
look at you now.
I gotta be real. I gotta be honest about it. But that was my thought. I mean, a lot of women and men who go through stuff, you have to think about, we have negative thoughts every day. If someone going through something like that, suicide, attempting to want to harm someone can definitely come across your mind.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Someone on here has a question, but do you still love your baby daddy?
I do. I definitely do. I don't want nothing bad to happen to him. I want him to be in a peaceful place too.
Right.
I don't hate towards him or her. I don't feel a way towards them or anything. I don't have that type of energy to feel a way towards him. But yeah, I do still have love for him. Yeah.
Because
I do.
this is just the type of woman you are. Like, the energy that I get from you is, it matches what you just said. Yes, I still love him. Yes, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. And probably if he was dying and you could save him, you would.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. I think
It's your children's father.
Well, I think that we would have a better relationship if she wasn't so much in it, but because of her, it causes we don't have that,
Right.
healthy relationship.
The healthy relationship because of her. Right.
So
So do you have any, what would be, because this was what you went through, that's tough. I don't know how you can advise a woman how to avoid something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I was going to ask you, what would be your advice to, because I know that there are women out here who are sitting in that right now, or who have dealt with that and maybe they haven't gotten over it. What advice would you give to a wife who's maybe dealing with that situation, or what advice would you have for someone to maybe avoid that happening to them?
trust your intuition. That's the first thing I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Don't disqualify what you feel. God gave us the gift of discernment. So if you feel something ain't right, 9 out of 10 chances it ain't right. You might can't put your finger on it, but trust it and pray about it, and God will give you and show you what you need to see. And when he reveals it to you, you have to make a decision on what you want to do about it. For people who, for women who, your second one was what?
You answered the second question first. I said, what would you advise someone who to try to avoid that situation? And you were like, pay attention to your intuition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pay attention to your intuition. And then I will also say it's kind of hard to really be able to stay away from it, because you don't know if this person is going to do this or not. Like, you just don't know.
There's no way to really avoid that.
Really not. And that's why sometimes, including myself, I when it comes to dating and having and seeing people, I kind of be like, I kind of keep my guard up, because the pain that came with that, it just don't feel good. And I don't want to feel that again.
So do you feel like, though, listening to you say that, do you feel like you are scarred to the point where you will block your future blessings of someone who may not have that for you?
I gotta be honest, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, and that's the conversation I had to have with myself, because when I have met a guy who was like serious about me, I noticed I started to push back. And that's when I had that moment like, wait, you still got some work to do, because you have some scar tissue there, right? And I have my guard up. I'm not open. And it's because of what I've experienced.
Yeah.
So it's some fear there of experiencing that again. It is.
Get it. I get it. But you know, the word fear in and of itself is something we have to get rid of, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's going to be a part of your transitioning from trauma to triumph
Mm-hmm.
is going to be eliminating the fear, because God can't bless you with what he has for you in your future if you won't allow yourself to receive it.
Absolutely.
And one thing's for certain, two things for sure. Typically, when we go through painful things, it's for us. Like you said in the beginning, um, it is for us. I saw a message today, and I forget who I was listening to. It may have been Dr. Bill Winston, who said, you know, when we are in, or it might have been TDJ, I don't know who it was, but I know that I remember taking away from that message that most of the times when we are going through something super, super painful,
Mm-hmm.
it really is for us.
Right.
We don't know that while we're in it though.
Right. But you know it after you come through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
Mm-hmm.
part right there that
And
when you're going through it, it's like, why me? Because that was always my question. Why me? Why does this have to happen to me?
yeah,
God said, why not
why
you?
not you? Right? And look, and he has kept you, and he has continued to grow you, and look how much you have stretched yourself. Look at where things have gone in your career.
Oh
You
my
know what I mean?
gosh. Mm.
You see that?
I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't forgive or if I didn't work on myself.
Yeah,
I'm telling
both
you,
of those things.
it's a liberating feeling. Like
Isn't
it feels so good.
it?
It just
Yeah.
I can't explain it. Even the love I have for my kids is not even the same.
See?
Yes. So that's what I meant by like so much came out of that situation that didn't even have nothing to do with him. It was
But
other stuff that came up that I had to work on.
yeah. So it was ultimately for you. It was a blow. You took a hard, that's a huge blow to take when you're married, right? Is there anything, do you feel like there was something that, like if he had said yes, yes, yes to some of the things that you were saying needed to happen in order for it to work, do
Mm-hmm.
you think that it really could have worked though? Do you really think you could have done that? Mm-mm.
Honestly,
Yeah,
no. I
yeah.
wasn't aware of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was, I wouldn't have did none of that. I would have just been like, I'm done. Nothing to other women who accepted it, you know, because I'm not here to judge no one. I honestly take my hat off to women who stay in relationships like that because that's like some strength.
Yeah,
I,
that takes a lot.
it does. And so for me, I just know for me, as time went on, I was like, I'm so thankful that God removed me from that situation because what I was saying then, as time would have went on, I would have regretted it. I would have been probably, I would have been like, I wish I wouldn't have never asked, or I wish I wouldn't have never said I'ma stay, or I would have regretted
Yeah,
it. I know I would have, because
yeah.
deep inside, I wasn't feeling that. I ain't like that at all. I just
Mm-hmm.
had a fear of being by myself.
Look at it.
And
But
now I love myself.
look at all of the
I
things you conquered.
mm-hmm.
You conquered that fear. So now, like I said, the next part of the journey is eliminating the word fear, the feeling of fear. I have to work on that myself too. That's been a big thing for me. You know, being fearful of different things, fearful of what you said, like being alone, fearful of rejection, fearful of this, fearful of being told no, fearful of all of these things that we're all in life, humans, fearful of. We got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that, you know, my husband helps me with a lot is he's like, you know, he's the most fearless person I have ever met in my entire life. Like he's not afraid of death, not afraid of anything. And so I strive to have a level of fearlessness
Mm-hmm.
where we can, you know, because if you're fearless about everything, imagine all the things that you can just do if you don't have
Oh my
any
God,
fear.
they'll be living like a 5-year-old.
I know, right? Because they don't have the fear.
They don't have no fear.
They haven't learned to have it. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things you're going to work on in this journey of transitioning from trauma to triumph, because the next time we sit down and have this discussion, when we come back and say, you know, like, let's give us an update,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to talk about how you're no longer protecting yourself. You're supposed to guard your heart. That is true, but not to the point at which you're allowing past hurts and past past hurts, past letdowns to block your future blessings.
Absolutely. And I
Because
agree. I definitely agree with that. And I have been more aware of that part because I want to love again.
that's
It's
right.
good to love. Like
That's
I
right.
love. So
And God wants that for you.
I want to definitely experience it again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just have to get over that fear part.
And so that's what we're going to do. We already claimed it. So the next time when we reconvene and we get an update on where things are with you, that part we're going to talk about, and it's going to be, girl, yes, I'm no longer fearful of someone hurting me the way my ex-husband did. Because what God has for you, he doesn't have any of that for you in your future.
Right. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yes. You went through the hard.
Oh my goodness. I ain't even think of that.
See?
Oh my God.
See? So,
That was a word.
yes, girl. So listen, I am so thankful for you. I'm thankful for your yes. I'm thankful for you being a part of this amazing project. God, I thank you, Lord. I thank you for Trauma to Triumph. I thank you for this platform. I thank you for Yalmikia's journey. I thank you for all the things that you took her through and brought her through, and all the things that we cannot see, Lord, that you have for her in her future. We want to thank you in advance, and we're going to touch and agree that it's going to be all things great. How about that?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree. It's already done. And right back at you too.
Yeah.
It's already done.
Yeah. So listen,
I look forward to partnerships with you and collaboration with you, speaking to young women with you.
Yes.
To all of that.
Yes.
So if you need support, if there's anything I can do to add to what you got going on, please let me know. I would love to be a part.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am going to, you said it on here, so you're on video saying that you are offering yourself to help in whatever capacity.
Absolutely.
I am so very grateful for that. And we've got work to do. We've got work to do out here to heal others through the sharing of our stories and talking to people about, you know, how life is not over after someone cheats on you. Life is not over after divorce. Life is not over after most of the life trauma. If God still has the grace and mercy to wake us up every day,
your job ain't done.
It's more to come out. Right. It's more.
That's what we're here for.
Right. Right. So I want to thank all of you who have tuned in to another episode of Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. I want to encourage you all to visit the website, which is www.trauma2Triumph.com. If you know someone who has a traumatic life story and they are now living triumphantly, please send them to the website so that they can submit their story, or you can have them email me. The email address is info@trauma2Triumph.com. You can DM me however you want to submit your story. So if it's you or if it's someone that you know, please submit the story so we can get them scheduled to do go live with me on an upcoming Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. We do these lives every single week, every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm also looking for a few men who have some great life trauma stories. Like, so if you are a man and you've gone through life trauma, it's okay to talk about it. We're having more and more of our strong men being more transparent because they realize how it can help. What we're doing is we're leaving a legacy of wisdom, you all. We're using our life experiences to leave a legacy of wisdom for those to come that go through these things. I mean, life is life, and life is going to continue lifing, but we are here to leave a legacy of the things that we experience and wisdom so that we can help others along their journeys, because life trauma is going to come. Life is going to happen. But what did God say? He said the weapons are going to come. They're going to come, but no weapon formed against us will prosper. And so part of our responsibility as being disciples is to go out and share what we have gone through and how far God has brought us. And we're going to continue to do that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we are. So thank y'all so much again. Anyone who wants to help keep this project going, get some filming done, all the amazing things that we have coming up. As you see, I don't even have a backdrop yet. So keep in mind, your prayers are needed as well as the donations. The Cash App information is in my comments, and you can donate directly on the website as well, safely and securely through PayPal. I'm so grateful for all of you all. Thank y'all so much. We'll be back next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another amazing story of trauma to triumph. And y'all don't forget, triumph usually does not mean, I don't want people to get it twisted. It doesn't mean that you're living as a celebrity or that you're famous, that you have money. Triumph just means I went through something that almost took me out, but God, and look at me now. That's what it means. I am able to wake up every day of sound mind and healthy body, and I'm able to keep going. That's living triumphantly once you've been through life trauma.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. Anything else other than that is a bonus. But the mere fact that we can say, I went through that and I'm still here.
And you know what else, Terry?
What else?
I saw a picture of you and my coach last week. She had on a blue dress. Her name Angela. She got an award. And you had on all red.
Oh, it was the oh gosh, that was Dr. Tashika Green gave the 8th annual Women of Women of Honor, something like that. Oh, it was so amazing. That I cried for at least an hour during that whole ceremony. Just different moments of time during that program. The women that spoke were so moving and inspiring. And so the one that was in blue, that's your coach, or it was your coach? Angela, right?
Coach. We just came back from Florida on Sunday.
Really?
We was
Wow.
So
her
together, I said, look at God.
Look at God. See, all of these are divine connections. You see that?
Yeah, I saw y'all two together, and I was supposed to come to that event, but I had something I was doing that day. Because a lot of people came to support her, but I couldn't come. So when I saw them share the photos, I was like, look at Terry. I just looked at her.
You was like, I know her. When Women of Honor Walking in Excellence. It was the 8th annual awards for Women of Honor Walking in Excellence celebration. Dr. Tashika Green. And it was amazing. So make sure next year you don't miss it. I'm going to make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I don't miss it either, because it looked like it was really, really nice, and I needed to be there.
It was really, really nice. But we've got a lot of stuff in between that. And you don't forget, you got to make it to a show, Spotlight Over the City. This is my Trauma to Triumph platform, you all. But just so you know, head over to Spotlight Over the City on Instagram and click that follow button. My husband and I have an amazing show every Thursday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. We've got some amazing guests on Spotlight Over the City. This week we've got Winter who is on Love and Marriage DC. She is actually closing our show this week with a live performance. Who knew that Winter could sing and perform? So Winter will be closing the shows with a live performance. We've also got Angie. It must be Angie on the mic. We've got Angie, one of my favorite radio legends. She's not even old. She's only 30 something, and she's already a radio legend, a media executive. We've also got, I don't know how many of you all have heard or seen Riley Knox, the #1 Beyonce impersonator in the world. Riley Knox will be joining us on the show Thursday, as well as DJ Richie. DJ Richie Sky is on the show. Man, it is and we've got an amazing woman, entrepreneur, Alice Williams. So we've got a jammed, packed show on Thursday. Well, you all check me out on Thursday, Spotlight Over the City. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and every place else as well. Yalmikia, this is going to be on my YouTube channel. Trauma2Triumph has a YouTube channel. Y'all subscribe there as well. And it'll be up on the YouTube channel tonight, and I'll share with you the link so you can send it to people.
Okay, yay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, honey. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes. See you later. Bye, y'all. Good night.